Welcome to the Pop-Off with Gene FitzMagic and friends. Your daily sports and entertainment radio show, live all over the world. You're going to want to hear what these guys have to say. With their hot takes, recaps, previews, and predictions, sometimes these guys might get along, but most times, they won't. So see what happens when these guys pop off about the world of sports and entertainment.
What's up, everybody? It is the Pop-Off. Gene FitzMagic, Caleeb Pinkett, Nigel Downer. Hello, everybody. How you guys doing?
Can't complain.
Yeah, same. Cannot complain.
And Nigel got this looks like a Spider-Man hat.
Oh yeah, boy, I got the Spider-Man edition on. Listen, you know what it is. If you're up here in Toronto, it is Fan Expo up here this weekend. It starts today and it runs all the way till Sunday. So of course, I gotta wear something that is fitting for the weekend. I'm going to be there likely all 3 days. I know I'll be there for sure Sunday. So if you're in Toronto and you're going to Fan Expo, you can catch me at a panel, at a podcast recording. It's called Correct Me If I'm Wrong. And it's at 1 p.m. I believe the South Building, but it's called Correct Me If I'm Wrong. This Sunday, if you are able to attend, which is, I don't know if I should put the date up because who knows when people are going to be listening to this, but yeah, you get it. So I'm around. So yeah, man. So I got this hot new, official Marvel hat, full back, and it's pretty slick. It's got the Spider-Man patch on the side. Obviously, it's got that Spider-Man New York patch on the other side. This one, I feel like is the Miles Morales colorway.
To me, that's got a Miles Morales.
Yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint the eyes white, because that's what he's got. So I'm gonna paint the eyes white. I have the other version of it, which is just the Peter Parker version of Spider-Man. So I'm gonna paint these eyes white. I'm set.
There you go.
Yeah. Now, and I'm trying to meet Shamik Moore this weekend because he's here.
Is he gonna be there? Oh,
yeah, he's here. So I'm trying to meet him. I got a poster I want to sign, a poster I bought from Mondo years ago. So I want to get him to sign that. So yeah.
Now, did you see Across the Spider-Verse?
Of course, man. I saw it day one.
Can I tell you, to me, that's the best Marvel movie maybe ever. That's how good that one is.
You're not wrong. I won't fight you on that. Yeah, it's fantastic.
I loved how they the animation technique that they use throughout that changes up like every other scene. It's like it's got a new animation technique
for each character.
The music is great, just like the first one. The music was great, just like in the first one. The music's great in this one. There's so much emotion in this. This to me might be the best out of. It's one of my favorite movies, period, point blank.
Yeah, when we in the improv world, when we talk about heightening, we're talking about obviously we're taking the yes and, so I'm taking your idea, Gene or Caleeb, and I'm heightening that. So I'm like, yes and I believe what you've built, and then we heighten that, and then how far can we go? The reason why I bring that up is because that's exactly what Into the Spider-Verse did. They took the first one and then they just they heightened it, which was they set the bar so high already. How could you heighten it? And they did exponentially. So it's unfortunate that all the strikes are going on because now we don't know when the third and final of the trilogy is going to come out because they kind of put it on hold indefinitely. But when it does, I'm sure it's going to be much of the same, just absolutely phenomenally blowing our minds away. Very
rarely do you see a sequel outdo the first one.
Yeah.
Godfather comes to mind. This was that same thing. And the first one was fantastic. The first one was awesome too. This one was just a little bit better, though. This one was just that much better. So if you guys have not seen Across the Spider-Verse, please go see it. It's to me, it's one of my favorite movies. Forget about animated. Forget about Marvel. It's one of my favorite movies. Forget about just being a Marvel movie. So, fantastic work on that, guys. So we know it's a little late in the game, but we wanted to get Caleeb's take on the Sterling O'Malley fight. Where do these two guys go from here, Caleeb?
Well, it's interesting because, O'Malley now has to run the gauntlet of the bantamweight, and he's not going to defend nearly as many times as Aljo did. I'm not saying Aljo is like a great champion of anything like that, but he has to fight a guy named Corey Sandhagen. He's not beating Corey Sandhagen. He got to fight Cheeto Vera, who already beat him. He has to fight a man named Damasili. How do you pronounce his last name? It's but he's actually Aljo's boy. It's Marab, the last name, Damasili Marab. And dude is a beast. So Sean's got 3 hard fights in front of him. Like like it sucks. So he can enjoy it now, but it's about to be rough for him. And nobody believes in him as a champion. So like there's no respect. So it's going to be rough. So he has that to worry about. So that's where he's going. And Aljo, he just has to decide what he wants to do. If he stays at bantamweight, he got to start back at the bottom. He could try to get a mandatory rematch where he will not even allow Sean to strike. He'll just shoot immediately and get him down, like try to, and that will be whatever that would be. But I don't know if UFC is going to give him that, which they should. Any other champion that loses that defends for more than 2 times has been a longstanding champion, and Aljo did 4, and lose it, they always get an immediate rematch if that's what they want. But we shall see. It doesn't seem like that's what's going to happen because Aljo people don't like him. Like, he doesn't sell pay-per-views. It's not like where Dana and them are like, okay, you lost your, because O'Malley is a big star. They can make money off of him. You know what I mean? So that's what it comes to. But it was a good fight. O'Malley caught him coming in. Like, I thought Aljo was going to win that fight, but he caught him coming in. And, when your momentum is coming forward and you meet that equal thing, you got to multiply your velocity plus that of the shot that's coming, and it usually goes nighty-night. Same thing that happened with Jose Aldo and Conor McGregor, and all of that. So it's gonna be interesting. But it was a good fight. My girl Zhang Wei Li did exactly what she was supposed to do, even more so. She completely dominated that fight. That wasn't even a fight. That girl shouldn't even be allowed to even speak of a championship fight ever again after that ghastly performance that she put on. So there's that. But I digress. It was great. Sorry, the take is real late, guys. I already know we got another fight coming this Saturday with my boy Max Holloway, who I love, against the Korean Zombie. Is about to go down. I'm a big Max Holloway fan. That's why I don't like Volkanovski to this day, because I think Max won the second fight. Absolutely. The first fight, I still think Max won that one. And the third one wasn't even a match. Volkanovski just dominated my boy. But I love Max Holloway in my heart. So I'm glad to see him back into the octagon. And we could go, and see what's going to happen. But he's basically frozen as well because he can't beat Volk. Volk got him 3-0. It's like you can't ask for another match. Yeah. It is what it is. So anyway, that's what I would say. But be on the lookout for this weekend. It should be a good UFC fight night.
Now, it's always about matchups too. Like, you might have one guy that can't beat one guy, and then another guy beat that other guy. Having said that, I don't think I could take Sterling, but I think I could take O'Malley. He looks like he should be skateboarding to the ring. I think I could take O'Malley. I wouldn't want to fight Sterling, but O'Malley I think I could take. Nigel, what was your interpretation of these fights?
Well, my interpretation of your comment is absolutely ridiculous. I'll tell you that much. Well, I commend you. Yeah, I commend you for it. They always look so, and this is my commentary on the fight, they always look so unassuming in terms of, like, sometimes their body frame or their stature or whatever. Yeah. But it's the technique, right? And the technique is exactly how you get that kind of outcome, which was shocking once I, woke up and heard the news, and I was like, oh my goodness, this is wild that, O'Malley won the fight.
That punch knocked you out too?
Oh yeah. yeah. I saw it and I was like, oh, and I just immediately hit the ground. Because it just, but the way you could see that, and Caleeb, please correct me if I'm wrong, but you could see that it just seems Sterling didn't, it only went 2 rounds, but Sterling didn't have his footing, or he just didn't have his confidence, I guess is the thing. Like, he knew that you could see that O'Malley was coming at him. Like, O'Malley was not, I think O'Malley just wanted to get ahead of the ahead of the storyline early. I want to get in there and I want to fight. And that right hand, man, boom, when it caught his chin, it was just like, it was over. You could see when Sterling hit the mat face first, it was like, oh, okay, this is a wrap. And to Caleeb's point as well, Sterling had 9 straight wins, after he lost in 2017, then 9 straight wins to win the Bantam and kept going, which is nothing to shake a fist at, man. That's an amazing run. Now it's just, you got to just chill out for a second, my boy. Maybe go back to Yard, maybe go back to Jamaica and have some, have a couple rum and cokes and just chill out. But that was wild. That was bananas.
Yeah,
some rum and coke, some Gully Coke.
Some yeah.
And but no, you're right. Aljo actually said that. He said he was worried about the step back counter. And that's exactly what he got caught with. And that's just the thing about life. Like when you worried about something like that, that's when those things happen. It's like you got to not think about it. That's what I say. Don't think about the injury. Like when somebody's injured or they're coming off an injury, the trainers are like, don't think about it, because it does something when you basically, they would call that, what do they call that? Attraction or manifesting the very thing that you don't want by keeping it in your mind. And that's exactly what happened. And if you watch Aljo's performance, he's all scared. I'm like, dude, just get in there. Like, what are you doing? But he was scared because he said, no, he's going to hit me with the right hand. And he's like, see? You know what I mean? I told you guys. You know, it's like, all right, man. But anyway, so, you know, it's that. But like I said, it was a great props to Sean O'Malley. He deserves it. He won the title, but he don't have an easy road at all. And all those dudes are gunning for him because nobody thinks that he should be champion. Everybody thinks they can beat him. So
that might be his best. That might be his best tool, is that everyone just downplays him.
I was just going to say the exact same thing, Gene. Is this now could make for a fantastic run in terms of, you know, he's got a target on his back and everybody just thinks that they can beat him. Now let's see how he adapts and let's see, you know, what kind of fighter he turns into to defend that title. Yeah,
he has to get a ground game because other guys are going to get him down. It's just what it is. And he can't take leg kicks at all, which was, I'm surprised Aljo didn't throw more. That's how Cheeto Vera, the guy that he called out, that's why Sean O'Malley called him out, because Cheeto beat him with leg kicks. He couldn't even move his leg. He had to quit because his leg, he couldn't stand on it. You see what I mean? Like these fighters know all of that stuff.
I was talking to my son about that.
He's not the first person in the UFC who could strike. You know how many strikers got beat and get beat? You know what I mean? Yeah. It's because they know all of that, but all you got to do is throw a shot and miss, or think that they're going to punch and they shoot, and it's a wrap. Or take a leg kick and now you're worried, so you're putting your guard down. Now you're susceptible to the head kick. Like I'm telling you, it's how my boy Kamaru Usman got knocked out. That is exactly what the champion is. What I'm trying to think. My boy from London. I don't know why I'm blanking on his name, Leon Edwards, because I was mad at Leon because I didn't think Leon deserved to be in there with Kamaru, but. It's like he fainted low, went high, nighty-night. You know what I mean? It's like that's what this game is. Trust me. Sean's gonna have a rough go of it. He really is. It's gonna be, and if he can make it through that gauntlet, then he can really call himself one of the best and all of that. You know, because anybody can win one night. Anything can happen. We've seen that 100 times.
Like me and Sean O'Malley.
But can you continue? Can you continue?
So. I got the O'Malley fight in me. I think that's all.
You can take Sean one night. You never know. Especially if you've been out drinking and getting high and all that. Yeah, easily.
All right, so let's move. Let's start our attention to some NFL guys. Let's start off with Jordan Love in Green Bay. Is Jordan Love for real? He looks legit in camp and he looks legit in the preseason. Is he going to be for real? Like, do the Packers have another 12-year quarterback on their hands?
Woo!
Nigel, what do you think?
Yeah, I will start gladly. It's inevitable that the fans, those cheeseheads, are going to compare him to the former quarterback that we already know that. It's just going to be amplified because the season has started. Because it was off season, fine, he's with the Jets, but now we're going to see it and we're going to hear it. So he does great. Accolades. He does bad, like they're going to turn the back on him, no problem. The guy's 24 years old and he sat for 3 years. He just stewed. He was just sitting there. So I was thinking about this on the weekend too, because you guys had mentioned who's a quarterback starting for Indy? I think it's the rookie. No, who's a rookie quarterback starting that we just talked about? Thank you, Richardson. Yeah. And we talked, our debate was like, well, do you just start him out the gate or do you let him, just kind of stew for a little bit? This is the kind of thing that I can't wait to see, because he's been stewing. Not only that, he's been marinating behind Aaron Rodgers. So it'll be great to see. I mean, week 2, he looked amazing versus the Patriots, right? Not going to lie. They lost 21-17, but still he threw, there's a couple passes that he threw that were on point, and they look like a veteran had thrown that. Yeah. And Caleb's point, you got to throw it to the hands, man. as a receiver, it's the hands or the numbers. Boom. There's no doubt we should catch that every time. And he made some reads and some throws that the DBs and the safeties had no chance at getting. They were there, but they had no chance at getting. So I think now with, he's got a couple, I don't want to say weapons, but just people that are serviceable, that'll do the job with the Reed and Watson and Dubs, their, the receiving core and whatnot. But I feel like Love's got a little bit more composure. Seems like he's got some patience. This might be a thing. Now, I don't know how well they're going to do in the division, but I just feel like this might be a great stepping stone to just at least achieving just slightly over mediocrity. You know what I mean?
Gotcha. I got you. Caleb, what do you think?
It's preseason, so I don't put too much on it. I think, he does look good. But you've been sitting for 3 years. You should know that damn route. You know what I mean? It's and it's like, yeah, and it's that. So we shall see. There's 2 weeks. Then everything really matters. So we shall see. I'm glad to see that he looks serviceable. I'm glad to see that, he's feeling confident, because that's really what he needs. He needs to feel confident. He does. You saw your boy, Kenny Pickett. Kenny Pickett said it best. All the praise he's getting, he said, guys, relax. It's just the preseason. Nothing counts yet.
100%.
Right? That's the real answer. It's like, I was like, that dude might end up being great. Like that kind of mentality. He's like, I don't care. Everybody talking about how good I'm looking. Wait till week 1, then we'll start talking. And so I think with Jordan, it's the same thing. I think it's the same thing. I'm looking forward to see Aaron get out there, run a couple series with the offense, because I think he needs to get out there. I'm looking forward to seeing. Patty Mahomes, they're debating if he's going to play or not. Pat doesn't really need to. He can chill. But it's like certain people I think need to get there, get reps in and just feel comfortable. You know what I mean? I think Dak whack ass should have been playing, but they're worried, but they'll feel stupid when the season starts, when they're like, why he seems so rusty. Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you, speaking of Russ, what's going on in Cleveland? How come they haven't had him take any snaps yet? Because if there's anyone that needs to shake off the rust, it's him.
Probably because of 230 million reasons why they're scared of that. But to me, it's the Aljo Sterling. You worried about the thing, you're going to make it happen. You're only manifesting. You're so worried about him getting injured. Then you open up first week, second week stuff, and that, you know what I mean? Like, God forbid. But I'm just saying, it's like, it's that kind of stuff. It's like he needs to be out there 1,000%. And if you guys see real quick, you see my boy Baker got the starting job. It wasn't too much difficulty, but I'm telling you, he coming for
going against Kyle Trask. So I mean, there's that. So, let's move across to the AFC West with the Broncos. Are the Broncos? Is this going to be Wilson's last ride there with the Broncos? Is he going to be? Do you think he's going to be able to fix things this year? Stay there another year, or do you think this is going to basically be his last year there?
If it's trash like it was last year, he's done. That's what I'll say. If he rebounds and does good, he doesn't have to be great. He can just be good, and he'll be fine because they gave him too much money. But if he does that again, what he did last season, he's out 1,000%.
What do you think, Nigel? Do you think he has a bounce back year? Do you think he has to stay another year after?
Well, I'm going to answer your question directly. Do I think he has a bounce back year? The answer is no. I don't think he does. But I will put a little something on it now. I mean, the guy's 34, right? And he's been pretty banged up. He's done some great. When he was in Seattle and when he was at his peak, man, he took some hits. You know what I mean? Yeah. He made some runs. He did some things. He's pretty banged up now. I'm shocked that he's still a number 1 QB. I feel like at this point in his career, maybe he should go down to 2. Let's put in some young bucks and maybe have him, do the whole fostering thing and kind of groom him up. But are we talking about the idea that Hackett was that bad of a coach? I mean, we don't really know. We will find out. Hackett was called out, which was nuts. But I mean, everything that Wilson did last year was brutal, man. At one point, I think he was at 84% or 36%, 36.7. His QBR rating was 36.7 at one point.
Which is pretty
abysmal, man. But he's never been that low before. Never. The average is around 84, and he was at 36 for a hot minute. And then, so he's usually around the 80, 90 mark. So it was tough to see him play like that. I mean, we'll see how it goes, man. But that was a long answer at the end, but I gave you the short answer off the top. No.
I don't know. I can't see him having as bad a year as he had last year. To go from what he was in Seattle to what he was in Denver, it was almost like an overnight drop off. I just can't see it continuing. Maybe I'm thinking of Russell Wilson of old. I gotta feel like he's got to make some type of a little bit of a comeback.
I'll tell you this: the last quarterback that I know of that tried to do the exact same thing that you're mentioning right now, Gene, was like kind of come back, have that comeback season that I saw in Denver was Peyton Manning. And you know what? He got booed out of this.
But he did win a Super Bowl.
Yes, but he was bad. And people were just like, boo. And it was like second quarter. He had thrown 3 or 4 interceptions by that time. He was
I remember that game.
Yeah, dude. That was wild. Like the crowd, like those fans in Denver are not – I don't know if the altitude gives them more vocal range, but it carried. And it's like it was tough. So I mean, let's just see that. Hopefully Wilson doesn't get a send off like that. But
it's a part of me that just believes in what he was in Seattle, and I just find it hard to believe someone drops off that much that quickly in 1 year. But who knows? I mean, do I think it was the coach? At the end of the day, players still play and they still perform, right? I mean, he didn't look good regardless of coaching to me last year, so I can't see him being all the coaching. Maybe he was banged up and he just didn't say certain things. I don't know, but I can't see him. I just can't see him being as bad again this year as he was last year. I'm not saying he's gonna be great either. I just don't think I can't see him being as abysmal this year as he was last year. I need to see it to believe it is where I go with that one. So you know what? Talking about disgruntled players, Jonathan Taylor of the Colts looks like he's about to be traded. Do we think there's going to be a trade that's going to happen? And where do we think he's going to end up, Nigel?
Ooh, you know what? Do I think he's going to be traded? I'll answer that directly. Yes. Do I know where he's going to end up? I have no idea. The only reason why I say that is because there was a time where me, you, and the amazing folks on this pod every week could kind of like have fun predicting where backs were going to go. But after that Cook debacle and like I honestly have no idea. I don't even know. I can't even guess right now where I think he would fit. This is not me like copping out of the answer. I just don't know. I don't know how this is going to go down positively for the receiving team of his talents, man. Like I have no idea, but I think he's going to bounce because it's become too toxic. It's become too cancerous now for the
there he is.
Yeah.
What a reception.
Yeah.
There you go. We're talking about Taylor possibly being traded, and Nigel was giving us his take on that.
Yeah. So I don't know. I honestly don't know where. I think he'll get traded. I just don't know where he would go.
Now, do you think it happens before the season starts, or do you think it's going to be at the trading deadline?
Yeah, I think it's going to be like a last minute. Let's just do it. Let's get it done. The other team's going to whoever wants him that bad. Boom.
So Wudi, let's throw you right into the fire. Where do you think he ends up? If you had to take a guess, there's some teams that are interested. Bengals, Bears.
Just because of my relationship with the Lord above, I can almost certainly say he's going to the Miami Dolphins. All right. That's just how it works. That's how we get Dalvin Cook. They get a 24-year-old stud in Jonathan Taylor. That's we already know the AFC East. Everybody needed a running back, right? We got Dalvin. The Pats, they got big old Zeke, But Jonathan Taylor is he's the belle of the ball, and I think one of those other teams are probably going to be the guys to get him.
All right. What do you think, Caleb? Do you think and do you agree? Do you think he does get traded, and where do you think he ends up?
Well, he has to go by Tuesday. That's the deadline that the Colts gave him. And so it's going to happen fast. And there's only been 2 offers. There's a lot of teams interested, but 2 teams gave offers. And one of them, because of Wudi's tithing and his great relationship with the Lord, is the Miami Dolphins. So I think he's going to go to the Dolphins. I really do. They made an offer. No other team. There was only another team that didn't get mentioned that gave an offer. So
I can't imagine the Bengals aren't involved in this. The Bengals, I think Mixon is. We've talked about it before in this pod. I think Mixon is so overrated.
But they like him, though.
As far as
They like him, though. See, that's the.
I don't know why. There's nothing explosive about him.
That's what I was going to say. But they like him, bro. Like, I mean,
Yeah,
I understand what you're saying.
Give up a lot to get Taylor.
Yeah,
what the Colts are asking for is a high price. They want first rounder, like all of that for him. Because what they're trying to do is get him is they don't really want him to go. Irsay just wanted to make the price like overprice it to where nobody would do because he's a running back. The position is so devalued. It's like, are you going to give up a first round pick for a running back? Right? Most teams won't. But Miami's like, we will. They put something on the table, right? I don't know what the offer is, but they offered. So, and he has until Tuesday. So I'm like, it's going to happen. Today's Thursday. You know what I mean? Saturday and Sunday don't count. Well, actually, they do. There's a lot of business done on the weekend. But basically, they got these 3.5 next days to figure this out. 72 hours, probably what's that? 90 hours left, pretty much, 90, to figure it out. So we shall see.
So my question is this then. If they don't, say they are looking for a first, and the most they get offered is a third, do you just sit on Jonathan Taylor or do you just
Absolutely. Because Irsay's he's not a nice man. So because of that.
And not a great owner either.
You think he would of course he would do that to Taylor. He knows what that's going to do because running backs, your window is so small. Losing a year for a running back is like 3 years for somebody else. You know what I mean? So that would be a cold thing, but believe me, he'd do it 1,000% just to teach him a lesson. And the rest of the owners will allow it. We got to teach, we got to teach these young men that they have to mind somebody. You know what I'm saying? Seriously.
Wudi, what would you do? Would you sit on it or would you trade him for even a little bit? Even if the most you can get is a third rounder, would you trade him?
Probably not. I think, you said, what would I do?
Yeah, you didn't ask. You said what, like what
all
they
right,
would.
Good point. What would you guys do? You guys are the owner of the Colts. What would you guys do?
I would definitely let him go if it was like that and he didn't want to play for me, I'd let him go. I wouldn't take, I would accept a second rounder. Maybe I would ask for second, maybe third, depending if he and I could be like, look, if I'm going to do a third, brother, like, hey, when you play against us, your knee is always hurt. You understand? like you gotta give me that, and I'm gonna let you roll. You know what I'm saying? Because it's that. It's like I wouldn't want to do that to somebody. He's a person. You know what I mean? He's not a commodity. Even though I understand the business says he is, but there's that, and then there's okay. Look, and if I know I'm devaluing him like that, man, let him go. Don't do that. If he really ain't nothing, let him go for the third. You know what I mean?
If I think, correct me if I'm wrong, he was drafted in the second round, right?
Yeah.
Am I wrong? I believe like early in the second.
I believe so.
Yeah.
Now,
I personally, I'd be one of those owners that was, if you're going to threaten to leave, unless I get exactly what I want, I'd rather let you sit. Now, it has nothing to do with teaching anybody a lesson.
FitzMagic is a hard.
Damn.
Oh, you missed it, Wudi. I already called out Sean O'Malley, and now I'm telling Jonathan Taylor he can't get traded.
Yo, Gene misses one day of the pod, and he's just like, I'm coming in with fire. I'm shooting everybody today.
I look at it this way. No, because what's going to happen is next Michael Pittman's going to want a new deal or something that's out of this world, or trade me. And I'm not going to be a farm system for the Miami Dolphins, for the Cincinnati Bengals, for the Cleveland Browns, for the San Francisco 49ers. I'm not going to be a farm system. So it's one of the things where if I let one guy go, what's going to happen the next time? Everyone's going to think that they could just be like strong on me and say, well, you got to get something for me. Now, if I said, listen, I value him as a second round pick and I get offered a second round pick, then I would, but I have to get what I'm offered. If any, a little bit less, and it's not a deal for me. Would I take a third for him? No. Would I take a second? I would take a second, but I'd also want like a conditional pick later on, and maybe in a fifth or like a fifth or a sixth rounder as a conditional pick to add to it. Just a number 2. I got him at number 2, and he's proven to be a really good pick in the second round. He's become an All-Pro, so therefore I can't just trade him for where I got him because he turned out to be better than what the pick determines. So therefore I got to get at least that pick back, that second round pick back, and I need a little sweetener. That's how I would look at it. Or maybe, hey, Dolphins got a couple of backs. Give me one of your backs then. You got Jeff Wilson. You got
I'm sure the Dolphins made that offer.
That might be something I'd be interested in because they got 3 decent backs, 3 capable backs there. I would maybe want one of those guys instead. Here's the look right here. What do we got? Raheem Mostert, Jeff Wilson. Shane looks pretty good in spring in camp. Who are we missing? Is there someone else? Were we missing someone from that group? I thought they had another guy too.
I think Ahmed actually got burned last year, and he looked good when both Wilson and Mostert went down. I don't think Shane might be a rookie.
Shane is a rookie.
But Ahmed, he won me a couple weeks in fantasy, just to plug off the waiver.
Yeah.
So he's decent.
So what would you two gentlemen do, Nigel and Wudi? Would you trade him, or would you hold on?
Yeah, I'd trade him. Absolutely. I agree. I think I'm going to.
What if the best you can get is a fourth? No one's offering more than a fourth because they know that you're on
zero. There's no. Okay, look, I don't think anybody would do that. First of all, I don't think on the other side, I don't think they would disrespect me enough and give me a fourth.
We know once, but here's the thing: we know when a player is like, I want out and that's it. That lowers the value of that player because they know you have to trade them. So they're not going to bet against themselves. They're not going to bargain against themselves. So they're going to come in kind of low.
You know what? They should. For the sake of argument, I guess I'll play devil's advocate. I think it actually runs opposite. I think when a player wants out, that the other teams are chopping at the bit because now they know that player just wants to get out of there. But they do know that the owner or the powers that be are going to want more for it, or want, at least to your point, Gene, they want the bar like the minimum or end with some sweetener, I think. So I think because he wants out, that just means now the other teams are like, great, what do we have on the table that we can offer, and how can we raise it if we need to go there? If we need to go there, how can we go into our backpack or go into those small little pockets that you put change in your denim jeans that nobody uses for change, but that's what it's there for. So what are we going to go into that little pocket? What are we going to pull out? That's what I think. So I would get rid of him, but I would make sure that I'm getting equal. If I have to, slightly lesser value, because you also got to look at the organization. Where are they at in terms of a team? They're not going to win now. They're not going to win now.
A back should always be the last thing you add to a team, right? It's the last piece you need because A, they don't last as long as other players, and B, it's
Here you go.
But they don't. Running backs, but come on, running backs don't last as long. We know that they don't. I feel bad.
I get it. It's just funny. Now that I heard how you would do Taylor, I'm like, damn, G.
Listen, running backs don't last as long as other positions, so it's always the last position you add. It's always. I feel like it should be the final piece of the puzzle when you're putting together an offense. Is you get your back last, because I also think backs are usually pretty much backs can be plug and play. If they're going to be good, they're usually good from their rookie year. So there's not too much of a learning curve other than just get the ball and run, right? So it's a lot easier of a position for, I think, to learn. Am I essing on the back? I don't mean.
Is this a topic for Tuesday? Is this something new?
You don't think it's harder to play? You don't think it's harder to play wide receiver?
More than just get the ball and run. I promise you that.
All right,
I've never played running back, but I know it's more than just get the ball and run.
You were a wide receiver. What's a harder position to play, wide receiver or running back?
Listen, man, you said that you actually put it out there that you could beat O'Malley. You just emailed this squad. Yeah, man. Like 15 minutes ago.
I don't think I could beat Sterling, but I think I could take O'Malley.
I was like, I'm not answering your question. Also, I tried running back before. In high school, they were like, yo, because you're quick, let's just put you in running back and just see how it goes. That space is not for me, dog. That space is not for me. You want to know why? Because it's small holes, and you get beat up real quick. You have
my case in point, they don't last as long as other positions.
You're right.
Oh yeah, no. What I'm trying to prove to you is the fact that you're saying it's just easier you can just get the ball and run when that's not even the remote.
That's what I mean.
That's all it is.
I'm not saying you're not right. Of course they get beat up. Of course they don't last as long. But you said it's just get the ball and run. Like what?
Or block sometimes. Or block. Hey, if you're not getting the ball, you're staying in block. You got that blitz to worry about.
Just grab the ball and throw it. Just grab the ball and throw it. Like
no, there's more to a quarterback. It's one of receivers. Receivers got to remember so many different routes.
Just run out there and catch the ball. Just run out there and catch the ball. Just get over it. That's Gene. Gene would be the best offensive coordinator in the world.
Yeah.
Practice today, boys. You get the ball and run. You run and catch it. You throw it. And
like what did they say in Bull Durham? It's a simple game. You catch the ball, you hit the ball.
I get it.
Run the ball.
I get it.
So, all right. So let's move on to Aaron Rodgers. Looks like he's going to play on Saturday. Is that smart, or should the Jets just wait and debut him week 1 against the Bills? Wudi, we'll start with you since you're our Jet guy.
Oh, that's so nice.
We weren't here this time. You didn't want it first?
No. That's so funny. Rodgers, should he play? I'm okay with it. It does make me nervous. I feel like we lost Pennington for the season in a giant preseason game. Same thing with Sanchez. And the weird thing about it is that it happened in 03, 13, and now we're talking about 23. So that's something.
Wudi, it would be Jet luck. It would be the same old Jets if he gets hurt. Saturday.
Yeah, I mean that's not even a question. And then we're forced to go back out with Whack Wilson. But I'm happy to see. I actually think it is good for him to go out there because, and we know preseason is preseason, but it's still just different. Even they do the joint practices to try to kind of create that type of competition, but it's just a different mindset when you are looking at 11 guys that are trying to kill you. It's just and I know Rodgers has been through it, right? Which is why Zach has been getting most of the reps, but what we're looking for is cohesion between everybody, and now Dwayne Brown is back. Mekhi Becton looks like he's about to be on the right side. Our offensive line that has not been a solid 5 all year is now a solid 5. So now let's work with a defensive line that's trying to kill us with Aaron Rodgers and his cadence and all the different inflections, all that stuff as they try to not get a false start or anything like that. I think it's important to give him the reps and, just wrap up all those ligaments and bubble wrap, some figurative bubble wrap, say, the Lord's Prayer before they go out there and, let's get some reps. Let's get some good reps in.
And if you miss a block, you're fired. If you miss a block, you're fired. I'll tell you what. I'm happy because Becton's looked good on the right side.
Yes.
He looked good last week, right? The running game did well. He gave whenever they ran his way, they no pressures on passing downs. It was as good as you could have hoped for with him on the right side. And Dwayne Brown I believe he just came up either this morning or yesterday or the pup list, so he's ready to go. You know what? And with Max Mitchell's a decent tackle. It's a little bit of depth. If you need some help, he can spell a guy or two. I do think who's the guard we got from San Francisco?
Laken Tomlinson.
I think he has a bounce. Listen, he's better of a guard than he played last year. I think he has a bounce back year this year.
He better be. He was the worst guard in football last year.
But he's better than that. Don't you think? When we got him from the 49ers, weren't you happy about that? I thought it was going to be a good.
I was happy about it at the time, but now
so I think he has a nice bounce back. I think he has a nice bounce back, and that's what I'm hoping for. I'd love to see Tittman actually play a little bit more. Maybe this preseason game. It doesn't seem like he's going to start. But you know what? Hopefully by year 2, he's our starting center. Jets have always had a good center. I feel like throughout the years we've always had top line centers, dating back all the way in the 80s with Jim Sweeney. So if anybody remembers Jim Sweeney, Caleb, what would you do? Would you wait till week 1 or would you play him this week?
Now with all the spiritual components that are against it, I definitely consider it a little more. I didn't know any of that. No, because that kind of stuff means something. Man, people always overlook that.
Jet's got that bad juju, man.
It's the thing that I was talking about with Taylor. Him not being happy, it permeates into the team. That's why I would trade him. Doesn't matter how good he is. Y'all see Major League? They traded Jack Parkman to the Yankees.
The ladies love that little shimmy he did. If you remember correctly,
yeah,
the ladies love that little shimmy.
Women in Cleveland hate it, But Tanaka, they get him and he becomes the guy. Anyway, I digress. I love Major League, that whole thing. Anyway, I would play him, but I agree with you 1000%, Gene. You miss a block, you're not on you take the Greyhound home.
Yes. Yeah,
and your
walking
pay
home
is deducted. And
now the Greyhound's too luxury. Greyhound's too luxury.
You might get booked when you come to the locker room. Like everybody got a sock with soap in it, waiting for you. You got to get the pile. You understand?
Man.
No, seriously, because their season is tanked if Aaron goes down, right? More like, oh my God, right? And he's older. So it ain't no guaranteed bounce back, right?
Yep.
You know how much y'all gave up for him? Imagine he got hurt and then he retires. Tragedy, right? So they have to protect him. But I do agree with Wudi with this, is that they need reps with him in the game, used to the cadence. And I'm saying it's different than practice and the game are two completely different things. Shout out to Allen Iverson. He will vouch for it. Two different things. And you need that team that is not your friend. They don't share a locker room. They don't know your kids. And they're coming for him because they're trying to get their contract sealed. Those aren't the starters out there. That's second, third, fourth, fifth string. Practice squad dudes trying to actually get on the team. So to get Aaron Rodgers down would look good. You know what I mean? So they're going to be coming out there. And I think they need that cohesiveness and that. I wouldn't keep them out there very long. No more than 2 series. No more than 2 series. And it could only be one. Because I just wouldn't want to risk it. But I understand he even has to get into it a little bit, you know what I mean, with an aggressive team, because the defense in practice ain't trying to. They don't even hit in practice anymore. So just the contact alone changes everything. You know what I mean? So I think it's that. But I would say yes, I would play him, but there'll be a whole lot of stipulations. And please God, do not. If you miss a block, there would be repercussions, consequences, and repercussions. Straight up.
I'm not gonna lie, man. Even in the regular season, every sack I'm gonna be holding my breath with him. So I'm not gonna lie.
No, I agree, but like that line, nah. But I'm also gonna take care of him if they do it right. He don't go down, man. Please, what y'all want? Everybody get a Rolex, like that type of shit. That's what Emmitt Smith used to do for his offensive line. That's why he became the leading rusher of all time, because he would take care of them when they took care of him, right? So it's like, that's what I'd be doing if I was the coach. I'd be like, shit, that's all. I'm doing that. Where y'all want to go? Your wife want to go to Paris with her friends? Done deal. Keep my quarterback off the canvas. I mean, off the ground. Sorry.
Nigel, what about you?
I'm going to answer the question directly, as I've been doing all pod. The answer is yes, you play him. You do play him only a couple reps, a couple downs. We already talked a couple series. We already talked about that. Caleeb already mentioned that. I'm going to give you a little analogy. I'm going to give you guys a little personal insight into my life. Just a little one. I don't want to get too close with everybody out here on the pod. So me and my writing partner, we're pitching an animated cartoon, right? An animated show for kids, and now we're pitching it to a lot of companies that are local, but a lot of ones that are actually international. And all the pitches have gone fantastic. But I'll tell you this: when there's been time in between pitches, we still get together, even if it's like a week or whatever. We'll still find one day, and the pitch only takes about 20 minutes to do, and we'll run it just for us. Not at game speed. Game speed is obviously 100% and over, but we'll run it at like 70, you know what I mean? So we're not exuding all kinds of energy, because you got to keep that tempo going. The reason why I'm telling you this story is because if there's anybody out there as a production company and wants a great animated TV show, like, holla at your boy, but also because I don't care how much of a vet you are, you need to get the reps in, especially with a new team. Just feel it out a little bit, man. It's not, again, it's a little bit, we're talking about the NFL, so they're pros. This is what they do. So obviously their tempo is going to be almost like game speed, if not game speed, every single time, especially those guys that are second, third, fourth stringers, right. 100%. But I'm talking about just feel out the new team, man. That's what I would do. If I was the coach, I'd be like, please do us a service. these guys will look after you. I just need you to put in a couple series, and then we're going to walk away from it. I don't care what your numbers are. I just want you to go in there and have that rep, because once we get into week 1 and we expect you to be 200, 300, 400%, we don't want you to warm up to that. We want you there immediately, because the hype is real. Like, this team, the hype is real for your Jets now. So it's like you guys got to hit the ground running. So if I were the coach, I'm like, Salah, is that his name, right? If I was Salah, you're playing it down, you're playing a series, and then we're walking away from it, especially week 3. That's for sure what I would do.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I don't know. I want to see him. There's a part of me that says just if he's gonna get hurt in week 3, he could just easily get hurt in week 1. Week 3 of the preseason. It's just as easy to get hurt week 1 of the regular season. So to me, it's like I really just want to see how he interacts with the rest of the team on the field, not in practice, but against other opponents. So I think I'm all for him going in, and like Caleeb said, to Caleb's point, no more than 2 series. 2 series is the max I let him do.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So that, or if he goes down and they drive the field on that first drive and they score a touchdown, that would be enough.
I'll take him out.
What I needed. Take him out. He's good. I got what I wanted. So that's where I go with that. Now, we talked about Jonathan Taylor before. Let's talk a little bit about Stefan Diggs. Rumor came out that he was looking to be traded, and then he pushed back against that rumor. But then rumors still persisted the next day, where there was actually a list of teams that he was willing to be traded to. Do we think there's any truth to this rumor, Caleeb?
Absolutely. That's not made up. It's just he didn't want it out because he said, "Oh, we cool now." That's a lie. That you don't get cool that quick when you have that kind of blow up that he had, and then all of a sudden a week later, "Oh, we cool and there's no problem." No, he wants to be traded, and he said to teams that's why they got out like that. He just didn't know whoever he was talking to was gonna put it out. But that's how this world is. You know what I mean? And of course he wants to be traded because he doesn't feel respected. That's what it is. The offense, he doesn't feel goes to him enough.
Yeah.
And that is what it is. I don't know, but all I can say is I think it is true. And again, that's why I believe the Bills will not be competitive this season, not in the way that they should, because when it's internal strife, you know what I mean? Jay-Z got a song and he says it best. Nobody wins when the family feuds, right? So what he's saying is like, if the family is at each other's throats, there's nothing positive can come out of that. So it don't matter if they get Von Miller back. It don't matter about none of that. Like if Josh Allen and Stefan Diggs and the offensive coordinator are all at each other's throats, how good can they really be? So, that's how I look at it. But I believe it's true 100%. That's why he responded so quick, because he's trying to it's like, Joker, we know.
So Nigel, do you think he gets traded?
I think that wide receivers are amongst the most diva, eccentric players.
You sound like you speak from experience.
100% I am. 100% I am. I would like to lie and say, no, man, I was a humble receiver. This is speaking from experience. This is also speaking from a guy who dropped the ball in a kickoff return, but then proceeded to run it 108 yards back for the touchdown. But I digress.
Okay, Deshaun.
But I digress.
Nigel Jackson.
I feel a ways about this. Now, listen to what Caleeb just said. I'd heard you say things like this before about the Bills, and I think there's been rumblings like the Bills might not be as good as last year. And blah, 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 right. I think I'm starting to become a believer, because I think if there's any legitimacy to this, the amazing chemistry that the Bills had is now immediately going to break down. Regardless, it does not matter, because Allen and Diggs have a great relationship on the field. And if this thing breaks down, you're going to see the turmoil and strife seep into how many attempts there will be, how many targets there will be to Diggs and on that side. And that thing's just going to start dipping. And we're not sure why. This is why, because of this drama that's happening now. So this could be a real problem for the Bills, man, just in terms of productivity from going one side. And I don't know if Diggs is going to be focused enough to catch the ball. I know it's not as simple as receivers just catch the ball, but my point is exactly. But I think his mind just might be somewhere else on a seasons before where it's like a routine catch. All of a sudden he starts dropping it a bit. I'm not saying intentionally. I'm just saying mentally he could just be in a different place. You know what I mean?
I get you.
But I also want to combat with this. This was Stephen A. Smith that came out with this info. Stephen A. Smith also came out with info about Lonzo Ball recently, right? And it was the same kind of thing. And Ball immediately had to come out and say, yo, where is your info, dog? Where are you coming from? So I don't know. Stephen A. Smith has a great reputation. He does come out with a lot of great info. I don't know. Is he wrong? I don't know. I'm just going to add that. Who knows?
Wudi, what do you think happens?
Well, allow me to take that ball and run with it because I think Stephen A. is full of BS. I think it's complete BS. Stefan Diggs is a passionate player. He has a tremendous relationship with Josh Allen. He's the best quarterback that he ever played with by far. And Buffalo, I mean, that roster, I think the blow-up that he had in the postseason is just indicative of the disappointment. When you're passionate, when you pour everything that you have to give, your blood, your sweat, your tears, and you're sitting on the sideline losing to the Bengals, it's like, oh, I cannot believe this. Josh, you're a top 3 QB in the league. I'm a top 3 receiver. Like that's, his mindset. And to take that L, to take the L, and have to eat that again. The ways that they've been eliminated from the playoff contention in the Diggs Allen era have been heartbreaking. Yeah. 14 seconds against the Chiefs. 14 seconds.
But let's call it what it is. Every time they lost to the better team.
Be fair, the Bengals. I don't know if that's true. On paper, Bengals I can't say that.
I think the Bengals are better than the Bills. I think the Chiefs are better than the Bills.
Yeah.
But I mean, they were 14 seconds away from beating the.
That's
Chiefs.
fair. So they were really close to beating a team.
Oh, wait a second. Tell that to the locker room. Not one person in the locker room was like, oh, the Chiefs, they were a better team. Like that. That's not how athletes think.
That's right. That's why I feel like I could take Sean O'Malley. Don't tell me I can't take Sean O'Malley. I know I can take Sean O'Malley. Don't tell me I can't.
There's literally you cannot. Let me be the first. If I'm not the first, hopefully I'm the third.
No, right? Yeah, you're the third, bro. You're the third.
Okay, all right, thank you. But I think that is complete BS. I think Diggs isn't going anywhere. His coaches love him. If you look at what the Bills have been saying, I mean, one of his favorite coaches he's ever had in this league is the Bills wide receivers coach. I'm completely blanking out on his name. I think his name is actually Cody Hall. Now that I think that's his name. But I think he is super happy. He's said multiple times he wants to retire a Bill. But of course, when you are disappointed, things they blow up. And Stephen A. I cannot believe anything that man says.
I don't think that's fair. I think he's
no. What? So yeah, because I was gonna say one thing about Stephen A. He could be a lot of things that people say, but one thing he's never been is a liar. His reputation is everything. Because he's so controversial, his reputation, as far as when he dropped something, he got that from an extremely credible source. Based off of their behavior, I know he's not lying about Diggs. I don't care what Diggs say. Like, no, we know, because you're a diva. And you feel you're disrespected, and you don't get the ball, and you don't get the shine like Tyreek Hill.
How does he? But he's guys. Like the only person on that team. Like they're really not even
right, and they still can't win. Right? He's upset about that. He can front all he wants to. He's absolutely wants to be traded to go to a team. He probably want to go to Dallas, to tell you the truth, to go play.
I know there's no way. There's 3 teams on the list. I know 2 of them. One of them was the 49ers and the other was the Bears. I don't know who the third team was.
The Bears.
He'll be good over there. And here's one thing Sam Darnold is the MVP if Diggs went to the Niners. I'll just give you that, G.
He's one step closer. He's the backup quarterback. He's one step closer.
But and the one thing about the Lonzo Ball thing, what's funny about that? Because Lonzo posted a video of him, doing the leg thing, going up and down, sitting in a chair.
Yeah.
You missed 48% of your career. You've been in the league 4 years and played 2 seasons out of the 4. And you got the nerve to act like, I can get your ass out there and play then.
Yeah.
How come you ain't starting until January? Huh?
True.
If you,
I heard
if you were so
Stephen-
good,
Stephen A.
it's like,
was
shut
saying-
up, man. You can't do it, and you know it, and you won't be back in January. How much
He's
you
missing
want
this whole
bet?
season. He's
He
going
won't be back until
Yeah,
after
yeah.
All-Star game, and guess what he's gonna be? Trash.
He won't even.
That's crazy.
Okay.
But Stephen A. was saying he can't get up. He said he
lose.
cannot physically get up.
Yeah,
pain.
like no, he said he's heard that it's even hard for him to get up and down out of a chair. Right? It's easy to post a 5-second video of you doing something and then cut. Oh Lord, somebody give me ice. Like, I don't want to hear that. What the proof is in the pudding. If you're that healthy, get your ass out there on starting night
100%.
and go play.
Wait,
If not, shut up.
There's a lot of steps between standing up out of
But
a
he's
chair
talking
and playing
so
in the
much.
NBA.
No, there
I
isn't.
wouldn't
Throw the
even say
ball, I'll
anything.
catch it. Just throw the ball and I'll catch it. All right.
Hey, that's what I'm saying. Just
Shoot the ball
dribble.
to the hoop.
Hey, what the white lady tell LeBron? Just shut up and dribble then.
Yeah, just show it.
Ooh.
Just shut up and dribble then. You know what I mean? Like, nobody wants to hear nothing from Lonzo.
F you, Laura
Lonzo
Ingram.
Ball? Really? Your brother is a star. Not you.
Yeah.
Your little brother.
Yeah.
The one you used to make fun of. He's better than you. What are you talking about? Dude, this nigga is, Lord have mercy. His brother's out there covered. He gets tattooed every other hour. He covered in tattoos. Listen, this is my telling why you mad, son.
Yo, Gene, you started this. Gene, you started it with the O'Malley thing, and it's just escalated.
It's
All
just,
our
I
We're gonna
can't
get off
take
the rails
it
today.
because I'm like, get out there and play them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I agree with you. I 100%
gonna
agree.
Post a video of you getting up out the chair. How about you post a video of you running up and down the court, play a pickup game? Do that. Like, man, oh my gosh. I say all that to say Stephen A. ain't lying about none of that. Lonzo Ball he's still injured. He's trying to act like he's not. And I think Diggs absolutely wanted to be traded.
I
I'm telling you,
100%
man, I just
agree.
even watched their recent preseason game. I'm just watching body language.
Yeah.
He's like, you know.
And it doesn't mean Stephen A. is right necessarily or wrong. It just means that I believe the information he got is actually factual. Doesn't mean he's really going to get traded. Doesn't mean that he didn't get
The Bills are not trading Diggs. Like Diggs
I don't think they will either, to be honest with you.
They will not do it. They would have to get a king's ransom for him because they know how valuable he
The
is.
contract for so many years, it doesn't even matter. Like he can't force his way out.
Which is Diggs' gripe.
Yeah.
Because he wants to be respected as that. He wants it to be shown because, to Nigel's point, he's a diva, right?
It's not a money thing for him. A lot of times you see hold out.
It's the ball.
Trade because of the money.
He doesn't get the ball at the level that he believes he should be targeted. It's the same thing Keyshawn said when he was in New York. It's what T.O. was saying for years. Throw me the ball, right?
Yep.
Keyshawn even has a book called "Throw Me the Damn Ball."
Yeah, exactly. So it's like that's what it is.
Megatron did the same thing, right?
Yeah,
he
man,
wanted
it's
to,
like-
and unfortunately he bounced. But I mean,
But that's what it is. Like these guys, he demands it. And if he's like, if you're not going to give me the ball, then trade me. That is true. I believe he said all of that. He just don't want it to look bad because the owners called him and Josh Allen called him. You know, that's what that is. So that's what I think. But I don't think Stephen A. is lying about none of that. Nah. He wouldn't put his reputation on the line to be called.
I agree. You get a few of those wrong, and all of a sudden you become just another guy.
Yeah, now people like Wudi will not believe you. You can't do that as a sports reporter. Your stuff has to be right.
We have enough bad journalists like Manish Mehta, as you guys might not know, but I know Wudi knows Manish.
Yeah.
He's he's someone you might not want to believe. If Manish said it, I would have believed.
Where is he these days?
I don't even know.
I think I saw him at Walmart the other day.
I don't know if he's writing anymore. He's a bad jet beat writer. He was maybe the worst ever. So guys, let's move on to another topic. Who has the biggest target on their backs in the NFL this year? Wudi, I think you really wanted to make sure, but you didn't miss this topic. So let you go first.
Okay. Biggest target on their back. I'm just gonna before I say this, I just want to say to Gene.
Oh no,
this is not how I feel. This is not how I feel. But Russell Wilson went to a team last year that was a quarterback away, and they had not made the playoffs since 2015. So what did the NFL do? They gave him the most primetime games, and we had to sit every night and watch the Denver Broncos score 9 points and just be garbage and just completely implode within itself. And they crumbled beyond the hype. So fans all around the nation are probably wondering, why on God's green earth do the New York Jets have the most primetime games? They got an old man as quarterback. Is Aaron washed? Is he not? You know, people have different opinions. People have different opinions about this. All right. But they got all these primetime games. 12 years, didn't make the playoffs. And Jets fans, they want to talk about, the offensive rookie of the year, defensive rookie of the year. Wow. You know, great job, Joe Douglas. What a great job drafting. The future's bright. The future's bright in New York. Let's talk about the other teams in NFL history to win that award in the same season. 1967 Detroit Lions and the 2017 Saints. So the only other teams. The Lions made the playoffs 0 times with their offensive and defensive rookies of the year. The Saints, they actually made the playoffs that year. Alvin Kamara and Marshawn Lattimore. They had not won more than one playoff game at any point of that era. They haven't even made the playoffs in years now. But, you know, that year they made the playoffs, a couple years after, and they let the Vikings have the Minnesota Miracle, right? You know, and
Stefan Diggs.
Diggs. And now, you know, they're out here trying to hit the reset button. So where is this hype? Where is it coming from? Hard Knocks, Prime Time, Black Friday, constant ESPN coverage whenever somebody has a hangnail, just all of this. Every team, every fan, they're tired of the New York Jets. All right. And if you want to talk about, like, personally, like, if you look at the schedule, Josh Allen had his 2 worst games of last season against the Jets. You know he is coming out. All right. Hell hath no fury, right? For Josh Allen right now. He is out to for blood. I mean, Zach Wilson technically beat him, right? Whack Wilson got a win over him, right? No one talks about how the entire defense of the Buffalo Bills was on IR, but they talk about so Josh Allen, he is looking to go 2-0. Patrick Mahomes, for the first time in his career, is playing his idol, Aaron Rodgers. That has not happened yet. But this season, it's supposed to happen. So what do we do against our idols? We show out. We let them know, okay, you know, I was the grasshopper. Now I'm the master, right? That's what happens. The Giants, they actually got a big trade today, but the Giants, they made the playoffs last year and beat a 13-win team in the playoffs, right? Then they got better this offseason, had a great offseason, but the talk of the city are those bums in green. What? Because they got a 40-year-old man playing quarterback? What is this? The target is on their back. People are tired of the talk. They're tired of the hype. They ain't seen nothing in 12 years. So why are we talking about this team with that old man, this retirement home team, all right, with just 2 rookies, which doesn't mean anything in the grand scheme of things? There's a target on their back week in, week out. I didn't even talk about Sean Payton because I'm not really hyped on the Broncos like that, but we know there's a circle on their back for that game. Every team in the league is looking to shut the Jets down, and they will be on prime time letting the whole nation know that they are better than this overhyped team.
Abby, yeah, we're going to need to speak about Wudi again. Call me back.
I said it wasn't my words, man. It's not my words.
I'm going to have to talk to her about you. You know, I can say this. I actually agree with you, Wudi. I feel like the target is on the Jets' back because I think a lot of people, whenever the Jets are even halfway decent, it seems like the league takes notice and hates the Jets. I don't know what it is.
Abby, yeah, you know what? That message that Gene just left, don't worry about it. Yeah, okay, I'll talk to you later. Okay, bye.
I'm not quite as animated about it as Wudi. I'm not going to knock the Jets. I'm going to say there's a big target on their back because they are that good, that they deserve to have the target on their back. Again, whenever they are even half decent, there's always this huge target on their back because the rest of the league seems to love to hate the Jets. Why? I don't know. but it seems like they love to be able to have the Jets as a laughingstock. They want them to fail every single time. So I actually agree with Wudi. I do think it's the Jets because I think you got teams saying, oh, they get 6 primetime games. Oh, they got Aaron Rodgers, who's old. They're looking at all the negatives that they can, so that way they can kind of shoot them down a little bit. And I feel like it's always been that way. I feel like since as long as I've been a Jet fan, it's been that way, where teams just always like to just dump on the Jets. And I feel like this is a year where it's no different. I think even when they're not even that good, teams relish beating the Jets just because the Jets are a team that everybody seems to hate. Why, I don't know, but everybody hates the Jets. So that's I agree with you, Wudi. I agree. I think it is the Jets for all the right reasons, though. I think it's the Jets for all the right reasons because they're actually going to be good this year. I think that they did earn a lot of those spots because they were a quarterback away. I think they're better than that Broncos team that added Russell Wilson, and I think Aaron Rodgers is better than Russell Wilson at this stage that he was last year as Aaron Wilson. Aaron is right now. So I do think it's well deserved to be the Jets. I think it's the Jets. I think it's well deserved to be the Jets. So with that, let's take it over to Caleeb. Caleeb, who do you think has the biggest target on that back?
It's absolutely the Jets. I agree with you guys. Oh, I mean, that's obvious. That's the obvious answer. It's the Jets. Just because they're getting all this hype, right? So teams want to beat them because they're supposed to go to the Super Bowl. It's like written in, essentially. It's like all they have to do is beat the Chiefs. It's like the way the world is laying it out. So it is absolutely the Jets with the biggest target on their back this season. And number 2 is the team it always is. It's the Cowgirls. Everybody, they're always supposed to win every season. And everybody, when they see Dallas, they like, we beating them. Right? Yep. So it's that. But I would say the Jets have not eased, but they have surpassed the Cowboys and I'll give them their respect. I'll call them the Cowboys. The Cowboys, they surpassed them just because of all the hype, because of the Aaron Rodgers of it, because Aaron Rodgers is considered this great quarterback, and everybody saw the Jets as if they had a QB, it would be the sky's the limit. Now they do. So now everybody's like, let's watch. So that's what this is. So yes, it's the Jets without question.
Nigel?
I'm going to refer to my notes here, and I'll start off on this. Dallas Cowboys - always the Cowboys. So just to Caleb's point, it's always this is always the Cowboys, always. However, I digress. I also have the New York Jets on there as well, so I agree with everybody here. And then honorable mentions go to the Cincinnati Bengals. Now that Burrow has an injury, I feel like there's blood in the water, and also that might be a little insular, though. That might be more like division focused. And also the Denver Broncos, just because how is Sean Payton going to, or is he going to revitalize Russell Wilson? And what is that team going to look like? Do people just want to take them down because it's like Payton's back? Man, this guy's done. Like it's a wash with him, and Russell is a wash. So those are my 2 honorable mentions. But I think you guys are right, 100%. Jets, Cowboys, and then miscellaneous after that.
All right. So yeah, I think the Cowboys are probably the most hated team. I said the Jets, but the Cowboys are the most hated team. I feel like the Jets are the most disrespected team. I guess maybe that's where I really wanted to go. Jets are always disrespected by the whole league because we've been a joke of a franchise many a time. So I think it's more. I wouldn't say they're the most hated, but they're the most disrespected.
For the record, I do think the Jets, will be a good team. I'm
sound like it much. The more I get to know you, Wudi,
reading the text that I've been receiving.
You're a self-loathing Jets fan. You're a self-loathing Jets fan, Wudi. The more I get to know you it seems like I feel like you hate the Jets.
It's Randy Quaid in Major League. He had the Indians hat inside out, wearing it on his head. He had the Indian shirt with the X through it. And he was like their biggest fan, but he hated them because they always
Woody's the guy that shows up to the Jet games with the paper bag on his head when they're only 0-2. It's like they're just 0-2. Relax.
I think to your point though, I think the Jets are disrespected by their fans, but not by the league. I don't think the league.
No.
Listen. I think the league is like. What I'm trying to say is that the Jets to me is what Buffalo was a couple seasons before Josh Allen showed up. They were just there. They just happened to be there. You know what I mean? And people, I don't think they disrespected the Jets. The team was just there because they had gone past the point of disrespect because they had no longer won much. So it was like they were just in the ether and it was fine. That's what I think. That's how I feel the Jets are.
Right.
Disrespected is probably more the Cowboys, I think, of this modern era, because everybody loves to hate on them. They hate them regardless of whatever they do, and they love to clown them once they lose in the first round of the playoffs. So that's the teams I would say is disrespected. But the Jets are just they're just there. But now, not the case. Well, I mean, we don't know yet. We don't know. We got to see week 1. But yeah.
So, guys, we're gonna actually go now to we're gonna do finish up our season preview of the teams. Starting next week, we'll actually start doing actual predictions of division winners, MVPs, all that other stuff. But today we're gonna finish up doing our team projections. So let's start off with the Minnesota Vikings, and let's start with Nigel. What's your outlook for the Vikings this year?
Ooh, that's a great question, man, because the Vikings, to me, like especially last season, when they just kind of start destroying everybody and they look really, really good, and you're just like, wait, what is happening with this club? I don't know. All this to say, I don't know what they're going to be like this season, because they haven't really done anything. Cousins still there, which is great. I mean, Jefferson, badass. So that combo we know is ridiculous. Outside of that, though, I'm really curious to see how they're going to manage, how their schedule is going to work out with with that team. They got Seattle week 1. They got Seattle, then Tennessee, and then they have Arizona. Those are the first 3 weeks. So
those are 3 very winnable games.
That's That's their preseason. My bad. Sorry.
Oh.
They're week 1. Sorry, it's Tampa Bay, then Philly, then LA Chargers, then
Not
Carolina.
So winnable.
So those are very.
That's a 2-2.
That's 2-2 or 3-1, right?
The Charger game. Where's the Charger game?
Charger game is in Minnesota.
Yeah, they could pull that
Hey
one.
guys, sorry. Breaking news: Jerry Jeudy was carted off the field in the practice. Carted off with a leg injury. Carted off. That's a tragedy
shame
for the Broncos. If that's the case, hey, they're gonna trade for Diggs now.
Oh no!
Hey, listen, don't be surprised. They need some help at receiver.
Listen,
I think
Jerry Jeudy.
But they lost Tim Patrick already too.
Yeah,
that's bad.
Yeah,
That's bad.
I could see them making that move. I don't know how much they have cap wise if they could do it. But
If it's a real injury, if it's significant, they're going to look for, because yeah.
Two of their top 3 receivers carted off. Tim Patrick tore his ACL for the 2nd consecutive year, and now Jerry Jeudy, who I was a huge Jeudy fan. I actually wanted the Jets to draft him that year. But I feel like his NFL career isn't shaping up to what it could have been.
No.
And they're saying it's a hamstring, apparent hamstring. And if it is, man, that sucks. I think we might have talked about this like early in the pod days, but a hamstring just takes forever, man. No matter how good of an athlete you are. I mean, the older you are, the worse it takes, like in terms of recovery time. But it's just one of those nagging. You can tweak it at any moment in time, and it'll just happen, like on a cut or like on a hard stop, and it's just that's too bad, man. That's really tough. But So to get back to it, I think they'll be okay. I don't know. I just feel like
Where do you see him finish? Where do you see him wins wise?
What they finish at last year?
I think
they're like 13-4.
Yeah,
I thought there was 11 or 12. They had 13.
They were literally like the best team in the NFC.
They had
okay.
the 2 seeds.
So if that's the case, I feel I'm going to take an under on that. Like I actually
they were 13-4. Yeah, they were the best team in the. Damn, you guys sleeping on the Vikings.
Yeah,
golly.
Yeah, I think they're going to do. I think they'll do like, I want to say 11 wins this year. Yeah, I'm going to do 11 wins.
Wudi, what about you? What do you see for the Vikings this year?
Hey, they were. I mean, I know the knock on them was competition, right? When they faced an elite defense like the Eagles or the Cowboys, they got stomped on. They got stomped. Maybe it was just the NFC East. It's just their kryptonite because they would also, lose to the Giants in the playoffs. But for 13 games, they were incredible. They beat the Bills in overtime. Their offense was amazing. Obviously, Justin Jefferson took that leap thank the good Lord he did, because I drafted him 3rd overall in fantasy. People were clowning me, and then they had to pay me at the end of the season. So Justin Jefferson,
all hail, all hail. Yeah. Well done.
But looking forward, they are actually kind of the opposite of a lot of teams that we're talking about. Quarterback away. This team, their defense is trash. Their defense is so bad. Quarterback is fine. Kirk is Kirk. And then you got Justin Jefferson. They added Jordan Addison to replace Adam Thielen. What they did this offseason is just shed a lot of the names. Patrick Peterson, Adam Thielen, just names. And they're just replacing them with young players. And on the defensive side, I said this earlier on another episode of the podcast, adding Brian Flores on the defense, somebody who has done great things as a head coach in this league. I mean, I truly believe that is the guy that is going to get the most out of all these no names. I mean, I can't even pronounce that nose tackle's name. I'm going to just have to call him K Tonga, all these different, no-name dudes. Brian Flores is going to get them in the right position. He's going to have them focus on the right things where, we know that there's a whole mental aspect to the game, but Brian Flores will have these guys thinking like Gene, all right, just run to the ball, just run here, stand here, do that. That's how simple Brian Flores will make the game. So if he can bring the defense, doesn't have to be a top defense in the league. It just has to be out of the bottom 5. Bring them up, make them the 20th defense in the league, and this team will be winning a double-digit number of games again, because we already know what the offense is going to do. We just need the defense to step up. So I think, call them double digits. I think that division is barbecue chicken for them. They should win the division and double-digit wins.
You think that? So you think they can actually beat out the Lions?
Yeah, that's not even a question.
Okay, Caleb.
I think the Vikings are in a little bit of trouble. I think they got the easy wins in their own division, which helped pump up their wins, which is why when they faced teams that faced better competition, they got demolished every time, because they're not used to playing that, because their division was trash. Essentially, the only competition was the Packers, and they had their own inter turmoil, which you saw play out, which is why Aaron is not there. And teams can't function when that kind of stuff happens. It's very rare when there's team inner turmoil that a team can still perform at a high level. It happens, but it's very rare. So I think their division has stepped up tremendously. Jordan Love does not look like he's going to be a scrub, and he's already coming into a team that is pretty damn good, right? So that's competition. The Lions are not pushovers anymore. You're going to have to play to beat them. So they're there. And Chicago is looking better. So maybe the 6 guaranteed wins are now 3, maybe 4. So that takes you from 13 to already to 11, to 10 to 11. You know what I mean? Like of wins. And that's if you're beating everybody else outside. Don't lose those other games. Now you're down to 9. You know what I mean? Like it could be bad for the Vikings, because Kirk Cousins he's serviceable, but he's not no quarterback that you want to put the game on. Because even that win that they beat the Bills, that's because Josh Allen fumbled on the goal line. That was God looking out for them. That's not like anything Minnesota did. You know what I mean? So because Josh Allen holds on to that, the game is over. The Bills win. That's one less win right there. So I think I don't think it's going to be a cakewalk for them at all. Can they win the division? Of course, but I also could get hit by a bus. So it's like anything can happen. Of course they can win it, but I don't think it's a cakewalk, and I think it's going to be a lot more difficult for them this season.
What do you think?
Who would you say is most likely to win that division?
Most likely, I have to go with history and say the Vikings, but it won't be easy. You can win a division with 9 wins.
Yeah,
that's true. Yes.
You know what I mean? Because they can beat each other up. That's usually what we do in the NFC East. Everybody beat each other up. You know what I mean? So it's so the winner, he got 9 wins, and they come out limping. You know what I mean? Because we kill each other, and it's gonna be that way in the AFC East this season too, guys. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Ready. You know what I mean? It's a gauntlet. So I think the NFC North is becoming a gauntlet now, where every team is viable and can do it.
All right. So what do you think wins wise?
I would say double. I'm gonna give them. If they had 13, I'll take 3 away. Say they lose, they split even with every team in their division, so 10.
Ha, see? And I had 11, so we're good. Keep it moving.
Winston is inviting himself onto the show.
Winston Salem, what's up, brother?
Yeah, let him know.
Winston. It's actually, his name is Winston Bishop from New York.
All right.
So
Okay.
I just like calling him Winnie the Bish. That's the only reason why. Winnie the Bish. All right, so let's move on to the 49ers. Caleeb, start with you, 49ers.
Oh, they're winning their division. No competition in that. They're winning their division. They have Seattle to worry about. That is it. They don't have to worry about the Rams. They don't have to worry about the Cardinals. So those are they might even start Donald those games. Purdy may not even have to play. You know what I mean? Like so they're gonna be fine. They are absolutely winning their division. They will be a 12-13 of winning team games won this season easily, and it could mess around and be 14. You know what I mean? But that's a little aggressive, but it's definitely more than 11. I would take the over on 11 with the Niners this year.
There's no doubt they don't win this division, right?
Right. Not in my mind. Not in my mind. I don't see Seattle being that to even challenge them for the division. And the Rams and Cardinals don't count. So it's like, I'm serious. Next season.
No, you're right. Yeah.
You know?
Wudi, what about you? What do you think about what's your outlook for the 49ers this year?
I mean, the 3 teams we're talking about are the top 3, in my opinion, the top 3 teams in the NFC. And San Francisco is amazing. They're amazing. And I think my favorite part about them is Kyle Shanahan's coaching staff. Like, it's crazy. They get gouged every offseason. Oh, let me take this coach. Let me take that coach. Let me take this coach. Every offseason. They just lost their DC. Right, D'Amico Ryans. He's coaching the Houston Texans just after they lost Salah. You know, they lose in McDaniel. They have lost so many coaches, and they still just keep chugging along. Well-oiled machine. Injuries occur. Right, their QB1 went down for the season. QB2 went down for the season, and they just kept chugging along in the playoffs with QB3. I mean, it's like that's why you can say with so much confidence, like a team like the Jets, who like there's so much hype on, you know, you say, oh, barring injury, or really most teams, right? Barring injury. The Bengals, right? If Joe Burrow is healthy. The 49ers, it doesn't matter. Anybody can get hurt, and they're still one of the most dangerous teams in football. Like Kyle Shanahan. He can't be killed. Kyle Shanahan cannot be killed. It does not matter who gets hurt. Anybody can get hurt. He's there. 49ers, they are winning the division, no problem. Like Caleeb said, over 11 wins. Don't matter who's at QB. Any one of us under center. Just throw the ball, and we there.
Just throw the ball.
That's all it takes. Nigel, what about you?
Yeah, I'm not going to drone on and on about the great points that have been made. It's San Fran all day, every day. I mean, the NFC West is pretty brutal, and San Fran has just showed that they want to play with the big kids. They want to sit at the big kids table now, and it's fantastic to see a team, not a team like that, but just a classic team with such a winning history, to see them come back in a resurgence. Like literally watching them over the last 3 seasons has been absolutely phenomenal. I host a stage over at this festival, the street festival. You guys are getting to know a lot about me today. At the street festival every fall, and it's like, around week 3 or 4 of the football season, and it's on Saturday. But the local bar that I hang out in, that I post up at because it's right beside the stage, it's a San Fran hub, right? So like the owners are San Fran fans, and his partner, and then so by proxy, a lot of the staff is. So I watch a lot of the San Fran games on that weekend, and to watch over the years, to be at that festival, then to watch the rise of the 49ers now to the point where they are, which Wudi said, like they can do no wrong. Like they can put in a backup and they're going to be just as good as they were before that. I love it. So kudos to them. They're going to crush this division. I'm with these guys. It's definitely 11, 12 wins and upwards, north of that. And then we can walk away from it.
There you go. All right. So last topic of the day. And, I don't know if I want to start with Caleeb or I want to end with Caleeb because it's his Philadelphia
It's a
Eagles.
big one.
Caleeb, do you want to start or do you want to finish?
It doesn't matter. Whichever one you guys prefer.
You know what? That's your team. Let's let you go first. That's your team.
Okay. I absolutely see us we should get to the NFC Championship again. I think it should. Hopefully, what I would love to see is a rematch between us and the Niners having a quarterback that's viable. Mm-hmm. That's what I want to see. I want to see that matchup. The regular season game is not as in football they matter, but what I mean is no. I want to see that NFC Championship. Winner goes to the big game, loser goes home. That's what I want to see. So I'm predicting that we get to the NFC Championship. I think we win our division. I think we're better than Dallas because it comes down to individual players. That defense can be as stacked as they want. But if Dak Prescott is wearing an Eagles jersey underneath his Dallas and he's throwing us the ball, we gonna win. I don't care what nobody says. So I predict that we will win our division, and I believe we will get to the NFC Championship. And I think those boys in San Francisco with the red and gold will be waiting for us, and we will go there. Hopefully we win the NFC so we can have home field advantage, and they got to come to Philly because if we got to go to San Fran, things change. But again, I believe that we should win the NFC East. I think I'm predicting we meet the Niners in an NFC Championship rematch. I don't think Dallas makes it, and I don't think Minnesota does either.
Okay. Nigel?
Ooh, this is a good one. I'm looking at the NFC right now, and I'm like, dang, man. Yeah, there's really just the elite, the cream of the crop, and then kind of everybody else. And for sure, Philly is on top of that. They finished out with 14 wins last year. I think it'll just be 13 wins. I don't know. For some reason, I just feel like let's take one away because it's just a different type of mojo, different type of energy now. But they're going to crush. Eagles are going to crush. And that's another team that's been fantastic to watch. I cannot wait to see them in their Kelly Greens, baby. I cannot wait. But we all know that I'm the fashionista of the squad, so I'm excited for it. However, I mean, listen, with Swift, Brown, Smith, I mean, their offense is just it's gross, and their defense is just going to be as hungry and as aggressive as they were last season. It was scary to watch. I even enjoyed watching Philly versus whoever last year just to see what Hurts would do to their defense. So I'm like, yeah, Philly, minimum 13 wins. NFC champs, I don't know. I do love the idea of them in San Francisco going toe-to-toe again. That's what I want to see. And again, Caleeb's point, very, very big deal that everybody's healthy. Their stars are going against each other because that's the fight you want to see. I don't want to see a Goliath and a David. I want to see two Goliaths. That's what I want to see.
Yep. So. All right. So, Wudi, do you also have them possibly facing the Jets in the Super Bowl? I know Wudi probably doesn't even have the Jets in the Super Bowl.
Yeah. I was going to say.
Not if I'm a betting man, but we can't talk about that. I love the Jets. I love them. The Eagles. Let me say two things that I think are worth noting before getting to my season prediction. First one is that recent history does not favor.
That's right.
Quarterbacks that lose their first Super Bowl appearance. Mm-hmm. It's just something that happens. And of course, the Eagles of today are a little bit different than the Eagles of yesterday because they lost both their coordinators. We were just talking about how the Niners gouged, they get gouged every season and it doesn't matter. But not every team is like that. Not every head coach, like a lot of head coaches, are actually products of their coordinators, putting together game plans. So we'll see if Sirianni is able to survive the gouging, like, a Shanahan type, an Andy Reid type, where there are so many, there are not so many, but there are a few that have been able to survive. That being said, the Eagles got the best roster in the NFL. Oh, my Lord. They're the only team in the league that has a top 2 offensive line and a top 2 defensive line. It's unbelievable what they have in the trenches. That's where I believe the game is won, is in the trenches. But let's look at those skill position players. Let's look at these defensive backs. There is just leadership, Pro Bowl, All-Pro, just all these different things, all these different accolades everywhere you look, collegiate accolades everywhere you look. They killed it in the draft. Why are these teams letting all these great players fall to the Eagles? What is happening? I have no idea, but they are the team to beat. They don't have a target on their back, so to speak. I don't know why. I don't know. But they are the best team in the league. They literally have a roster so good that if the right coaching was in place, they could go 17-0. I just don't know because, again, they lost their offensive coordinator. They lost the defensive coordinator. So I don't know how many wins will actually be gotten, but I will be shocked if the Eagles do not win the NFC. I expect them to be in the Super Bowl. If they didn't make it to the Super Bowl, it's because at least 3, not 1, not 2, at least 3 Philadelphia Eagle players have died. That will be the reason.
The dramatic pause was the best.
I thought he was gonna say injured.
So did I.
Died. No, dead. Like
amazing.
That's fantastic.
So how many wins?
Sorry. We'll go. You know what? I'll say 14 again. 14 again.
14-3. Listen. They're a team that was as good as they were last year, got better than they were last year, which is hard to say. As good as they were last year, to get better than they were last year. Definitely. Like you said, look what they did in the draft. They killed it in the draft, not only with their picks, but making a huge trade to bring in Swift. Mm-hmm. I agree. I think they're going to be better than they were last year. The only thing they don't have going for them this year is last year they would catch people off guard. I don't think everybody knew how good the Eagles were going to be last year. This year we know how good the Eagles are going to be. Last year they were able to catch some people sleeping. I think a lot of people thought the Eagles would be decent. I don't think they thought they were going to be Super Bowl good. So that's the only knock I think I have against them. But I don't think it's still enough for them to hurt them. I got them going 14-3 as well. Damn. And it really comes down to that NFC Championship game. I don't know who I pick. I'm gonna have to pick somebody in the next couple of weeks when we do our predictions. But as of right now, I got it where it's going to be Philly and San Francisco in that final NFC game. And we'll see, like I said, we'll make our predictions next week about who's going to go from there. But yeah, listen, who wouldn't want to see that NFC Championship game? Eagles, San Francisco.
I mean, that's where we missed last year.
Yeah.
Everybody did. We got robbed last year. Yeah.
We want to see that. You know what I mean? And I hope it happens the exact same way. Not the injury stuff, but I mean like the road to it. I hope San Francisco beats Dallas for a 3rd season straight. Like that kind of stuff. Like for real. Because Dallas, let me tell you, that's who they want. They don't want to play us. They're like, we'll get to them. We want them dudes. I'm telling you, they want to beat San Francisco.
I could see that for sure.
Oh my God, yes.
I know you asked Micah Parsons. I'm sure Micah Parsons would probably say that. So.
I guarantee you. Yeah. So it's gonna be good, but I'm looking forward to it. But the NFC, I'm telling you though, the AFC is the division to watch. It's so many ridiculous teams in that division.
The AFC is deeper. The NFC has a few teams where it's like they're just like Nigel said. The NFC's got the cream of the crop, and then
we literally got the big four in the NFC. Yeah, it's the Vikings, it's the Cowboys, the Eagles, and the Niners. Yeah. Like that's it. Yeah, you know what I mean. Anybody can come up. Who knows? Because somebody could die, like Wudi was saying. But barring that,
not 2, not 3.
Right, barring the upper room, it's going to be one of those 4, and I definitely don't think it will be Minnesota. And I don't think it'll be Dallas either. It's gonna be one of us. It's gonna be them boys in Frisco or them dudes from Philly, and then that will be that. But the AFC is the wild card because anybody can come out of that. You guys got like 6.
Right. There might be like 8.
Right.
It's a deep conference.
Hey, I was seeing people talking about the Jaguars yesterday. Yeah. Like as far as like creeping
you
up.
Never know.
Like there's just insane.
Hey, in fantasy, Joey Lawrence is going to go real high. He's going to go real high this year. There's been a lot of chatter on on all my channels, fantasy football channels. It's pretty nuts.
Yeah. So
how does that work? I've never done fantasy football. It's like, how does
You
that
never played
work?
fantasy
Wudi was
football
talking about getting paid. I was like, wait a minute, there's money?
Oh yeah, dude.
maybe we should do a league.
That we might have to do.
We might have to
segment on that. Yeah.
You know what, Caleb? They smell blood in the water. They're like, wait, Caleb doesn't play fantasy.
No.
Weak link. Let's play fantasy.
I don't even know how it works. Like you're saying draft. I'm like, draft? What are you talking about? Like I don't get none of that.
It's a lot of fun, man.
Yeah. I know it's fun because everybody does it. I just don't even know how it works. Like, how do you do it? I don't know any of that. So that'd be interesting.
That's a whole nother pod.
We'll have to, we'll have to show, it's probably too late to do it this season, but we'll have to do it maybe soon. We'll do something with that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so guys, that's going to do it for this week. Next week, stick around. We're going to be talking about our predictions for certain awards, certain divisions, and we'll a little bit more in depth of an actual
Baker Mayfield comeback player of the year, Sam Darnold NFC MVP, offensive MVP.
let's see that may happen. Listen, Sam Darnold's one more step closer. He's the backup.
One injury away.
There you go. There's my man Sam.
Get out of here.
One death, according to Wudi.
My man Sam. There we go. So guys, last words of the day. Wudi, what's your last words, man?
I'll say this because I didn't get to talk about the UFC. My boy Aljo, he got caught. And I'll say this, that to be able to be humble, and grateful in your biggest defeats, right? I feel like it shows who you are, to how you respond to victory and defeat. So be mindful of that, your highs and your lows. Be mindful of your highs and lows. I should have just said that.
I like the journey. The walk was nice.
It was definitely some scenic. Nigel, last words of the day.
I'm going to go along the same journey. Believe it or not, I want to make sure we give a huge shout out to Olia Carmona, which is the lady who put in the first strike, the only goal of the Women's World Cup to lead Spain to their first ever championship. The Red Fury, they won on Sunday. And when we're talking about loss, what Wudi was saying, after she scored the goal, after the match, they're raising the cup, that's when she found out her father had passed away during that game. So I just want to say huge shout out to her and to her family and to the squad, because she dedicated that goal to her pops. And again, in the face of a championship, you can be as good as you want to be. You can make a difference, because that was her first goal. You can make a difference. Loss was on the cusp. It happened, and it only brought her and her family together even more so. So I just want to say, hug somebody that you love today. Kiss somebody that loves you. Give a high five to somebody that you love today, because you never know. You can be a champion and, dare I say, a loser all in the same day, but in a different way.
Very good. Caleb, last words of the day.
Keep it simple. Spread love is the Brooklyn way, y'all. Enjoy your weekend.
There you go. Guys, have a great today, a better weekend, and we'll see you on Tuesday. And Sean O'Malley, run.
Somebody's on you, baby.
That's the pop off for today, folks. Thank you to all of our listeners, as well as our producers, Patty Puddles and Fareed Kameo. And make sure you tune in tomorrow to hear what these hooligans will pop off about next.